Let's introduce our players. It is going to be to the top left-hand side, our blue Protoss player from Asterion Esports. It is going to be Harstem. He's up against the pink Protoss player to the bottom right-hand side from OSC Elite, Hass. So, a best of 2 PvP here between the players. Abyssal Reef for the first map. And again, depending on the time after this, we've been live about 4 hours. It's not been that long a stream, I guess. Depending on how we're feeling after this, we'll probably cast Harstem game time as well as our final series of the night. We didn't have game time Hass replays to bring you guys, unfortunately. So hopefully Harstem Hass and game time Harstem will be enough for you guys. Again, cool to see the kind of groups finally all panning out and to finally get to see what our bracket will be looking like. Don't forget to tune in. We'll actually be starting earlier for the bracket stage on Sunday and Monday. Midday CEST on Sunday, midday CEST on Monday, to bring you guys the action from the OSC Masters Cup playoffs. I appreciate that's a lot earlier, and if you guys do have some issues tuning into that, I am considering running a rebroadcast for those events on the evenings, on Sunday evening and Monday evening. So that's something we could definitely maybe look towards doing, just because that the events have been moved like way earlier, like 4 hours earlier than, no, 3-4 hours earlier than they have been recently. So yeah, that's that. Man, 4 hours into this cast, it's been a quick one. I gotta say, like, you know, when I say it's been a quick one, I say I feel it's like, you know, it feels like it's been very quick. It doesn't feel like we've been casting for 4 hours at all. You guys are awesome. So glad to have you with me, and yeah, awesome viewership as well for this event. Really cool to see. Do appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me know if you're tuning in maybe for the first time. You just came across the stream. Let me know if you're a newbie here or something like that. Would be great to say hi. Of course, if you're enjoying, don't forget to hit that follow button. See you when we're going live again in the future. And all the other usual setup bits and pieces as this 2-gate expansion-based play from Protoss players come up. Obviously, you can subscribe. We're giving out replay packs at the moment, so you can get your hands on those. There'll be a sub-tournament soon as well. You can also donate or cheer in the chat if you would like to, as another way to support. So, the expansion from Hass is very early. Skips the mothership core, bypasses initial gateway units. Harstem will probably end up expanding himself, but just a little bit later, having built 2 adepts from the get-go as mothership core earlier. So we'll see if he can do some damage to justify what will now become just a little bit of a later expand for himself. 2 stalkers on the way from him as well. It's really about these first 2 adepts though. Can they get into a mineral line? Can they bypass the 2 stalkers of Hass? This probe actually over here sees the adepts, and so I imagine the stalkers will not be bypassable. And so far Harstem not doing much with his adepts. So far Harstem just later expansion. But in general he will still be ahead a few units throughout this, which is obviously going to be interesting. Boy, there's a perfect amount of time to smoke a ciggy, put my laundry in the dryer, grab a drink, and take a piss. Well done. I try, man. 3 minutes, I think 3 minutes is a fairly reasonable time. I mean, I struggle to do a lot in 3 minutes when I'm casting. It's like, you know, I struggle a little bit, I guess. You know, because in 3 minutes, it's like, you know, if I try and go get a drink and go to the toilet, I also have to run the ads after 90 seconds. It's because it's split up into 90-second halves, I guess. 3 minutes is a pretty good time, especially if we do a bit of talking before the next game as well. Gives you time to do a whole bunch of bits and pieces. I'm a newbie here, says Bantam Kame. I know that's not true. I know that's not true, so don't you give me that. 2 workers going down here. Nice pickoffs by Harstem. Nice pickoffs by Harstem from the get-go. As you see, the opening here from Hass has been a Stargate against the Robo and Twilight Council from Harstem. Blink on the way up here from our blue Protoss player. European, trying to join some of his European buddies in the playoffs, such as a Laser, Euthermal, Snoot. 4 stalkers going up the left-hand side. The Stargate here was built at home, but this next gateway from Hass is coming up on this left-hand side. So setting on up and getting ready to go on into this. All these stalkers, guys. There's a lot of stalkers, I gotta say, from Hass. Considering we went into the faster expansion, it's not really how I expected this to look. That said, you gotta remember, Harstem will have overcharges available. He's got that mothership core early, so it's almost full of energy already. You see this Oracle flies over from Harstem. We do see it just going to try and bait overcharges elsewhere other than at the front. Harstem building a third Nexus, not what he really needs against such a powerful attack coming in as Haas will commit in, and well, he's going to try and fight this. Probes will pull. Given time though, Harstem gets Blink, and then he's just going to be able to out-micro these Stalkers, so given time, this gets good for Harstem, as you can see. Well, I mean, this should surely be cancelled on the Nexus, right? Haas will start to target that down. It will begin to fall. Cancel as it is. Just continue to set up into this. Got Poduska in the chat, says, I'm a newbie here for the third time. Greetings from Poland. What's up, man? Welcome. Glad to have you with us. You see these Stalkers from... Ooh, Haas poking forwards, but getting caught by the force fields. Harstem got a couple of force fields there, making the most of it. 2 Oracles still over to the left-hand side. I'm going to be poking in towards the main base here in the next few moments, and there we go. They're going to start picking their way through a bunch of these workers. 3-4 workers going down already. Couple overcharges used to actually punch back the Oracles. The Blink does not quite get it, but then it does actually, just the Stalkers walking forward, still managed to pick up the Oracle. Should have kept it moving. Haas, some mistakes here right now. With Blink up, Immortals on the way, I mean, Harstem's army composition is becoming very powerful to the point where I do actually start to worry a little bit for Haas. And what you might be able to do here is we're going to be seeing the Stalkers is going to keep on pushing forward. Is this the issue, right? More Stalkers. He blinks forwards every now and then. He's going to keep on working his way through them. Harstem's just going to kill so much on his way across the map. Then he's going to get across the map. He'll have Blink to use defensively in engagements. And he has an Immortal here as well. Looking forwards to see his ult going down. Few Stalkers still just moving over to the right, and again having a little bit of a think as to what they want to do here right now. Dark Shrine has been proxied by Haas, but I mean, there's a Robo up, even if there's no, well, there is an Observer out, but I mean, it just means that there generally is going to be a way to deal with the DTs. They're probably not going to be the safe race. Maybe they can help to defend over here if the overcharges buy enough time. I actually think he's kind of okay to defend without DTs, but it would be a way to turn this army all the way back home until he gets a Observer with it. That's something to keep in mind as Harstem starts up the third Nexus. Some more Stalkers coming over. Is he going to try and break this? He's got Prism, so he could actually blink up or just Elevator up into the main base in general. He's going to try and poke the front again, just make sure these units are being kept down. They actually force fields down on the low ground. Overcharge just forced out once more. I guess forcing the overcharges low ground means that the high ground overcharge is not going to be as viable. Stalkers are already blinking up. Third Nexus still building. The first DTs moving forwards, and so far Harstem still doesn't really have a plan against the DTs. Well, not aggressively at least, not with this army. So he's down this overcharge now. There is, I guess, an overcharge is available and and the Observer here, so he actually will push back the DTs in the main. And no DTs on this side of the map. That's what I'm surprised about. Why not? Why wouldn't you build some DTs to try and defend in case? But there isn't. Okay, there is one. There's 2 actually. It's just they're not going to do enough damage in time. Okay, so you know, Haas did try what I thought he should, and top left-hand side. Our Blue Cross player is going to be Harstem, having taken game number 1. And he's up against Haas. Our Pink Protoss fighting for his tournament life more or less right now. From OSC Elite to the bottom right. Alright. Let's see how this is going to go. As you do see. Early game, a couple of gates on the way up from Harstem. I imagine the same to be from Haas. You generally want to open for 2 gates apiece in PvP because it's just the safe way to do it while also being able to set up into the other bits and pieces. Sprobe's just mining away. Nothing really hectic right away. I mean, just what we expect it to be is... Well, we'll see if we do see expansions from both. I mean, if there is a way to change it up in PvP early game pre-expansion, it is to throw a 3rd gate down and get super aggressive, and that is a possibility. It's something that could definitely happen. But it's not done very often. But if it does happen, it would be done by someone like Haas. Haas is the kind of guy to go all out like, yeah, you know what? Never mind, 3 gates, 4, you know, he'll 4 gate you. You know, that's the kind of guy Haas is, so... We'll see what he gets up to here. Is Harstem coming across the map. 2 scout in this pylon already, positioning kind of like a I'm gonna hide something sort of location, you know? It really is. As he pulls the probe down to the low ground, he hasn't actually got the money to expand just yet, so I wonder if this is a little bit of a fake until he can clean up this probe. Harstem not building a probe of his own down to the low ground at the moment. It's interesting because last game this was when, you know, Haas built an expansion because he bypassed his unit, so Harstem will know that. So there's a little bit of a mind game potentially pulling through in this. A little bit of a mind game potentially pulling through. Two adepts going to start shading forwards. Harstem coming in towards the center of the map as well. We're going to try and see what's about to happen. Pylon on the way down to the right side. Is Harstem going to get aggressive? Twilight Council hidden. This really feels like a Dark Shrine, right? This really feels like a Dark Shrine. There it is. Dark Shrine is going to come on up here. Pylon's still just building over to the right-hand side, and well, Harstem, is he going to get aggressive against DTs? It's not going to be good for him if he doesn't start building detection ASAP. Two adepts will get overcharged in the main. I mean, they're going to get one and now two workers just as they go down. Harstem just has no idea. Third gateway, no robot facility. He has no way to detect Dark Templar. There's still a probe in his main base as well, which can build a pylon. If he builds a pylon, well, then there's going to be, you know, DTs warping in his main. And it gives him even less time to work with this. God damn it. God damn it. This is not pretty right now. As you see the Stalker and a couple of adepts moving forwards. Harstem here looking to see what he can maybe do. Pylon's coming down the low ground. He sees this late expansion now, and surely he has to start wondering, what is this about? Why is there a late expansion compared to, you know, why haven't you built this yet? He starts to build a Stargate. Not really the answer to the DTs. I mean, the Revelation will do part of the job, but not enough of the job. He's also not going to make progress at the frontier because Overcharge is used, and that pylon in the main base is getting very close to finishing. The Dark Shrine will be ready. Two Adepts, four Stalkers sat up front. Harstem getting ready to make this happen. Getting ready to try and win the game, but at the same time, DTs are warping into his main, and he has no answer at all. He'll break down these pylons, and he might feel as though this is going very well, but he just isn't looking past the lack of units here. He's got to ask himself, you know, where is your follow-up? And here it is, DTs into the main mineral line in Harstem. Well, what now, man? Starts to get an Oracle on the way up, but I mean, the pylon, if the pylon goes down over here, he goes another pylon, it's just not going to happen. DT is more than enough, and I mean, yeah, the DT is just going to keep on killing it. Harstem knows if that doesn't happen, GG. Haas takes game number 2. Just like that. 1-1, and